Hello everyone. Hello. You are welcome. Eze Bube, see how far you've brought me. Hi. Hello everyone. So today is a good day. Today is the day that the Lord has made. Surely we have reasons to rejoice and be glad in it, right? I'm so glad to have everyone here today. See how far you've brought me. This song has just been ringing in my head today. It's a good day to be alive and well. Alright, so let's get started. You're welcome to the Millionaire Teacher Show. And today is episode 1, where we'll be talking about my journey, my story. My journey, my story. The essence of this program is to help people share their journey and their story as it relates to the teaching profession, so that upcoming teachers and other people would learn from their journey and story. So today I'll be sharing a part of my own journey and story. It's not the entirety of it, but just a part. And that part will help inspire someone, right? Alright, Eze Bube, see how far you brought me. Eze Bube, see how far you brought me. Okay, so talking about my journey and my story, let's start by introducing my name is Mary Nwalisa, aka the Millionaire Teacher. I'm also known as the Millionaire Teacher, and I've been in the education space for over a decade. I've been teaching in the classroom for about 7 years, but in and out of the classroom for more than a decade, right? So today, the aspect of my story is the part that led to me stepping out of the classroom for this season. So something happened to me this year that made me to decide to step out of the classroom for this season. And that is what I'll be sharing. Because before that thing happened, you never hear other people's stories. You never get to hear other people's pain points. So you don't know how to navigate and all that. But when I believe that by sharing this story of mine, other people will get to learn and it will help them to navigate through life process. Alright, so like I introduced, I've been in the classroom for about 7 years, and 5 years out of the 7 years has been in the early years. I've been teaching early years. I've taught early years from preschool up to the reception class, right? And in the last 3 years, I've been teaching preschool. So I am from Ep1, and there's a narrative about the states or the people there and all that, and I've decided that my case is going to be different. I'm going to change the narrative, right? So we shouldn't only be known for derogatory things like the house help. We shouldn't just be known for that. We should be known for greatness. And I am in that position to change that narrative. That's part of why I'm sharing my story. So earlier I got married in 2021, and for a while I just didn't know why I was not taken in, but I kept trying. And every time I went for every test and every procedure to check my fertility, I was told I was okay and everything was all right. So we just kept trying, right? Then by January this year, I took in. By end of January, February, I took in, and I was very surprised because we didn't do any special procedure. It was a natural process. And when we took in, one of the things we were told specifically was that I needed to be careful, I needed to stress less and all that. So as much as possible, my hubby used to take me to work and come to pick me after work, just to reduce any form of stress. And we went along with this process for a while So you can imagine at the beginning of this year, there was the issue of the cashless policy and all that. So it wasn't really of a big deal because we had that committing and all that sorted out because of Obi, right? Then as of February, I didn't even know that I'd taken it. And it was our games festival season. I was actively involved in the games festival without knowing that I'd taken it. And I continued for the entire period of the games festival until around March. That was when I knew I'd taken it. So we rejoiced and we were thankful. Thank God and all that. And then by April, I had lost the pregnancy. So now I'm going to talk about the things that led to losing the pregnancy. One of the things that led to it was there was this particular day, about a week or some days to when the event happened. Hello, Pedro Priest. Thank you for joining. I see you. Thank you. So about a week to when the occurrence, the situation happened, I woke up one morning and my body just didn't feel like it. My body didn't feel like getting up. My body didn't feel like just going anywhere. There was a way my body felt, right? And I told my husband, I was just like, okay, just try, and then go. So I went to school that day, and I communicated to my supervisor that I didn't feel like it, that my body doesn't feel, I didn't feel like waking up or getting up from the bed and all that. My body didn't feel like it. And I went about my duty. So I recently saw a video where someone was analyzing a type of depression where you continually show up until you lose the last strength of the elasticity. So that was the situation I was in that day. My body was speaking to me. My body was telling me to take some steps back, to relax. But I just kept on going, right? And then I was there going about my activity and all that. And then that same day, something else happened. So there is a unit where someone was sacked recently prior to then, and then my class was where they came to take out my support to go and assist over there. And I voiced out that for that particular day, if it was any other day, it's not a problem. I understand that I'm capable of handling my classroom alone, but then when there are other people that are supposed to work with me, I let people do the job, right? But now, because of the peculiarity of how I was feeling that day, I communicated this and I said that the person should at least come and assist during lunchtime and all that. And afterwards, the person could go. That was all I asked for, but it wasn't granted. And that got to me. That got me very emotional that day. It got me emotional to the point that I started yearning for my late mom. So now let me rewind a bit. I lost my mom 6 months into when I started working, right? So it was a very, very emotional period for me. And then this thing happened and I was thinking about my mom. This is like 10 years after. You can imagine such emotions coming to you. And why was I thinking about that? It was because of the person involved that I expected to understand. Okay, so this was someone, when I got into that school, I really liked how we connected initially. And I told her that, oh, you're like a big sister to me here. And just a few months into my joining the school, she left. She was going out of the country on an assignment. And that got to me. That made me cry. Like, it got me emotional that period, right? So now, after some months, she came back into the system. When she came back into the system, the way I felt about her prior to when I returned was not the same way, because I just felt that this person came back and is different and she's now a bit very strange. So that period I started questioning, if my mom was to come back, will she be like this? So you can imagine the different emotions that I was going through. I was asking that question, if my mom was to come back, will she be like this? Will she? So that was why that particular day, when that thing happened, that was all I could. I just felt, okay, this girl, not with a mother, she's in this kind of situation, and people cannot empathize with her. They're just trying to overburden her. And if it was an ordinary day, it would have been a different story. Because, okay, so what you experience with that person is called loss of resilience through loss of internal social resources. Oh, okay. Thank you very much. Thank you. So if it was a different day where I was up and about, right, it wouldn't have gotten to me so much. But because that day I had even announced and mentioned to the hearing of everyone how I felt or how my body was, so that this was me asking for help. And instead of getting help, I was now put in a situation where I was overworked. So those were all the emotions that got to me that day. And then, just before then, there was also a child in my class, child of a celebrity, that was so attached to me, and the entire school knew that, right? So I'm laying this foundation so that when I move forward, you would understand some things. So I went, this child was so attached to me, and every time, everywhere I am, the child is all around me and all that. And I used to do a lot of carrying of the child. So by the time the incident happened the next week, the doctors asked two things. Do I do a lot of lifting? And secondly, stress. So when I said my job did not really involve a lot of physical stress, which was the truth of it, it wasn't so much about the physical stress. And the doctor said to me that when he mentioned stress, he wasn't just talking about the physical stress, he was also talking about emotional stress. And then I remembered what happened the week before, that the emotional stress had gone through, because that's really got me in a state, right? And that was one, the stress part. Then the second thing, the doctor asked if I used to lift, and I said no, as much as possible. I'm grateful for my husband because he tries to make things lighter for me in the home front. So when we're trying to analyze or figure out where the lifting came about, and now remember that, oh, this particular child that used to follow me about and all that. So those were the incidents that led to the miscarriage. Now, why is this so much of, and why is this part of my story, or why is this part of my journey? Some people may not want to openly talk about this, but I'm openly talking about this because I want to help someone out there. So before the miscarriage happened, I was not on the HMO, which was a big deal to me, because for a school that this was my third year, and I was told I would be on the HMO in the first 6 months. But as at the third year, I wasn't even on it. It was until after the miscarriage that I was placed on the HMO. So these are things that schools need to look into. We need to keep to our promises, right? You give a promise, stick to it. Now, in the same system, there are people that came in and were on HMO automatically. But why it got to me was because it was a promise of 6 months afterwards, and this was the third year. It wasn't given, right? So that's an aspect of it. And then, considering that this was even already a situation, one of the things that the school was particular about was me bringing a doctor's report. So I sent a message to the school about the situation, because I had to stay. When the whole process started, I was placed on bed rest. I had to stay on bed rest for some days, and I notified school. But school was more interested in doctor's reports than in my well-being, or do you understand, that kind of thing? I didn't see that care. I didn't see that wanting to interest in my well-being as much as interest in me showing up. It was more about, we need you to show up than we need you to be alive. I'm not mentioning the name of any school, I'm not calling anybody out, but I'm just saying that it's very, very important that we do right by our teachers, school owners, school heads, heads of departments. And to even surprise you, I was head of a unit. I was the coordinator for preschool at the time. But it just felt like my position was just a figurehead position, like I wasn't part of the decision, because I questioned why I had to go through that, and the system didn't really care, right? So now, this thing happened, and it happened for a good cause, because it got me thinking, okay, so now that this thing has happened to you, I now understand how my body reacts to all this, how I react to accumulated stress and all that. So I'm able to manage situations better. But aside from that, it has also helped me to begin the journey of my personal branding. If this thing had not happened, I probably wouldn't have been thinking in this light. I probably would have just been waiting for, okay, what is the next available offer to take and all that. But now, there's a redirection. There was a failure somewhere, and that failure is redirecting me. It's letting me build my brand. What am I called to do? I'm on this journey. What is the purpose for this journey of life that I'm in? Why am I teaching? Right? I may not be in the classroom, but why am I teaching at the moment? Right? So these are the questions I've been asking myself. And then in July, I came across a webinar that inspired me to join the coaching call in August. And it was such a fantastic journey. It was such a fantastic journey that I have not exhausted the things. I'm still in the process. I'm breaking it down. I'm chewing it in bits, right? Until I get to that point, that thing that I figure that God has really called me to accomplish in this education space. So, my dear teachers, my dear school owners, my dear school leaders, this is a wake-up call. Let's do better by our teachers. Let's be supportive of our teachers. It's very important that the school system supports the teachers. Some people may say, your own is too much. Your own is too much, Seth. What is it? Now only you. And are there not people that got pregnant? Yes, there are people that got pregnant. But look at it. Were the circumstances the same? It's just like the parable of the sower, right? The sower drops seeds in a rocky soil, drops seed in different environments. Which one gave the desired results? So other people may be in the school, will get pregnant, they'll give birth and all that, and everybody will rejoice. Fine. But are they in the same condition or environment as me? They may even be in the same school with me and achieve that. But it was until after mine had happened, I started hearing how teachers go through a lot of miscarriages. There are several teachers that have gone through miscarriages, all because they are teachers. Please, let's help our teachers. We don't need someone to die in the process of the job to prove that the person is effective. We don't need somebody to die on the job to prove that the person is good enough. No, that's not a true sign of being good enough. We need teachers to be happy doing their job. Because why? They know that the system has got their back. I get back, we all sing that song. I walk with God the Father. What gives us that confidence? Do we see God when we are walking? Or we just have that sense? We don't have to see the school owner. All we need is to have that sense of what do they call it? Of support from the system that we are in. Oh, hello, Ajayi Jane. Okay, thank you. You want to? All right, so thank you very much. So Jane wants to join and share her own experience. Thank I've sent you a request so you can join and share your opinion on this matter. Okay, can you see my request? All right. So maybe network is bad on our own end. Oh, okay. So thank you very much. So this video or this live is just an aspect of my story. So this experience made me to decide to step out of the classroom for a while. And then that is now another story again. When I requested to step out of the classroom, it just seemed like I did something wrong. There was this, what does she even feel like? Why is she leaving? Is she the only one? Like, I don't understand. I've done my duty. I've paid my dues. If this is what I need for this season of time in my life, I expect you to encourage me and celebrate me or help me see reasons instead of being malicious towards me, right? So without further ado, this story of mine is just to inspire someone to win. You don't have to die on the job to prove a point. Very, very, very important. If you need to step aside, please do. And when you are doing, don't just do it for doing sake. Step aside and reconsider yourself. Ask yourself some salient questions. Why am I doing this? Is this season right for me to do this? What would this lead me to? Or where would this lead me to? What will I achieve from this? Right? Just keep asking yourself questions so that you can move on to the next level, because is very, very important. It is a teacher that is all that can deliver. So this call is not just to school owners, it's also to parents. So many times, parents just dump their children in school, want the teachers to do the most, and then they're not there for the teacher. You don't have to give the teacher, you don't have to buy anything for the teacher by all means. But you see, once the teacher knows that you got their back, that this parent actually cares, not the eye service care because the child is in your class and all that. No, once the teacher knows that this parent has my back, no matter what, see the teacher as human, as a living being, as someone, because your child is what the teacher feeds your child, that your child would grow with, right? There are so many times that parents have come to me that they use my name to scare their children at home. No, it's Miss Mary said. Once you don't say Miss Mary said, it doesn't hold water. So just imagine what you're doing to that child if you're not nice to the teacher of your child. Nice doesn't necessarily mean giving money or buying gifts. Showing care and concern is very, very important. All right. So thank you very much. Next week, we'll have the second episode where we'll have some guests with us. Today, I am the host and I'm the guest. So this journey God has led me through has made me to see God in a different light. I am very positive and full of energy. You won't believe it, right? You won't believe it. The joy of the Lord fills my heart, and I look forward to the great things that God is set to do in my life as I step ahead to the next season and the next level of my life. So thank you very much. I look forward to seeing you next time. Till then, take care.